As everybody knows, I guess by now, Jerry Ward has torn a lot. So, some people have already made videos with conjecture, full of conjecture and their opinions on why he's been plagued more or less with a series of tears and injuries as of late. And there's all kind of stuff people have said. Jason Blaha, Jason, we're on first name basis there. He says it's because Jerry doesn't know how to train. Of course. You know, what would you expect Jason to say? I mean, what an opportunity. It's just handed it to him on a satin pillow when he woke up this morning. So Jerry doesn't know how to train, and I don't know what all else it is. It's basically that's it. I don't know. A couple things as usual in Jason's video. Jason, you're not above critique yourself, bro. Like I know you've offered now to rehab Jerry and to train him, get him back into shape. You suggested since he's too far at a great distance from you to him, and he needs assistance in a severe enough way that it would have to be hands-on, that it couldn't be over the internet. You'd have to be there in person to really instruct him as he would really need and most benefit from, according to you. So you recommend he find a strength coach, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a really, I know it's just meant as, it's kind of meant as comedy a little bit. You know, it's facetious and it's, but really that's a really shitty idea, actually. I mean, what he really needs to do is go a whole different route, try something completely new and foreign, like yoga, like fucking yoga. You know, I made a video about that I was starting to investigate and get into some yoga, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And I haven't really made any in-depth videos about any of it because I'm a novice. But even like restorative yoga, if you observe it, right, because Val teaches, if you observe it, it looks like the easiest thing in the world. It looks like, man, that doesn't look like much. But if you do it, if you engage in it and you give it your best, man, it's intense and quite remarkable what it'll do to you and how you'll feel afterwards. It's really it's restorative, exactly as it's termed. So I would recommend you would get into something like that, man. I mean, that's take it for whatever it is, but I'm going to tell you straight up, it's gold advice. I mean, I'm older than all you guys. Older than all you guys by what? Over a decade. And I'm stronger. Yeah, I am. I'm faster, I'm sure. I have more wind, better cardiovascular condition. And now I'm getting ready to lean down starting this month. So it'll be, I'm going to actually get shredded for a change for summertime. So my cardio will be really through the ceiling, off the charts. Nothing really that foreign to me. It's just as of late I haven't gotten that far in depth, but I am now. The reasons that I don't do a whole bunch of, I don't video me lifting a whole bunch of weight and stuff like that is because I'm not trying to encourage people my age to try and do that. Which brings me around to the concessions that eventually one will have to make. And you too, Jason, you're not immune, brother. You're not immune. I mean, I don't even think you're fit. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, could you be fit? Sure. Of course you could be. Sure you could be. I give you credit. I mean, you train, you're dedicated and disciplined. You put a lot of effort into your channel. You put a lot of work ethic there, clearly. I got to tip my hat to you for all that. So if you wanted to put it into that direction, that you wanted to actually truly get fit, and let's not bullshit each other. You bullshit everybody else. Bullshit all these fucking people that believe, you know, I'm not going to insult you, but that believe half the stuff you post. You know, let's put between you and me. Come on, bro. Come on, dude. Come stand next to me. Come on, dude. I don't mean just physically. I mean, yeah. You're not really fit. And, you know, my fitness level isn't the best it's ever been. You know, but I have been extremely fit many times in my life for long periods of time. And I'm going to get really fit, you know, this time now. So by summer I'll be gold again. But there are concessions I've had to make, and it was begrudgingly. I didn't really want to do it. I had to do it if I were to continue on. Concessions I've had to make, and other tactics and things I've had to do to get around some of the repercussions of my age. And, you know, there are choices, as we always have choices. The growth hormone issue. I don't augment, supplement GH. You know, I don't know why, really. I mean, I just don't feel like it. Kind of the same way like the injuries I've had, even the fairly severe ones, I haven't had surgical reparation. Why? Because I just feel like if I can see it through by other means, on my own, without intervention, especially surgically, then I think that's a huge win. And I have enough confidence in myself that I can. And so far I've succeeded, and I can guarantee this, assure you of this. Of course, this is YouTube land, so everything's fiction, right? But the reality of it is that some of the injuries I've come through, 90% of everybody out there would be finished with lifting long ago. Or they would have had to have the surgeries. But then everybody don't even come back fully from the surgery, so I always figure I'll try my own hand first, because nobody knows my body better than I know it. I've been living in it all these years. But the concessions that I've made to continue on have included supplementation, which I know Jason usually thinks that's a dirty word or a big hoax or scam. It's not. You know, right place, right time. One man's poison is, I don't even know what the fuck that saying is. What is that saying, Jason? One man's poison is another man's medicine, or whatever. I don't know what the fuck it is. Salvation? I don't know. But you get the point. You know, so I supplement a lot of stuff. Not the typical shit that the generic shit people expect. I don't supplement like glucosamine, and I don't supplement glutamine, and I don't supplement CLA, and I don't supplement a lot of things I don't supplement, but I get a lot of stuff just through my sport formula, right? So even though I take few things, I try to take things that are going to give me cover a wider angle of assistance. So that's why I like the sport formula so much. Let me give this a Jerry Ward adjustment here. You don't have to do that though, but I do. And the diet also. My diet takes that into consideration. One thing that people don't often attribute injuries like this to is a defect or a deficit in your diet and nutrition plan. Really, in the micros especially. And Alan Roberts, of all people, Alan Roberts, he mentioned that. He mentioned that very same thing, and you know what? He's couldn't be any more correct. As we age, it's really, really important. You're going to have holes in your nutrition that you don't realize are there, man. No matter who wants to tell you, you know, their fairy tale world of theoretical bullshit. You know, our food's as good as it ever was. You can get it all through food, and supplementation is garbage, and you know, all this nonsense. You know, all these careless catchphrase shit that's designed to get views. But really, you know, every time you sell yourself out like that, just a little bit, we talk about selling yourself out, every time you do that a little bit just for sake of views, man, you're failing to give the people, you're selling people short, you're not really giving them full benefit of what you already know is fucking true. And the reality is, older guys, there's stuff, if we want to continue to function at a higher output or higher level performance, as if we were still young, you will make concessions. You will make concessions. You have to learn. I was a hard learner. You know, my initial belief was that all my injuries, when they came on me, sudden, fast and furious, was all attributed to diminished growth hormone production. Because my strongest year, of course, was when I was 44 years old, man. 44, I was beast. Huge, strong. The apex of wherever I could get to was then. 44. 45. It's almost like a flip of a switch, like overnight. Working weights were now debilitating weights. Working weights were weights that could potentially injure me or not. You know, just out of the blue, literally. Pops and tears and all kinds of bullshit. I had like 4 in that year before finally I said to myself, you know, this is bullshit. My body's certainly telling me something. And up to that point, these were just weights, just standard weights, man, that I just handled all the time with authority. And now these weights were killing me. They were literally apart. So something had changed in my physiology. Everything else was the same. Something had changed in my physiology. And it had to have something to do with hormones, right? Obviously. So I said, well, it's got to be the growth hormone. And now my connective tissue is more susceptible and prone to injury. Well, wherever, you know, I'm sure I had a diminished capacity, but then once I crossed that threshold, where now I dipped below a certain point, you know, that tipping point, shit starts coming apart. Now, I don't know how correct I was. I'm beginning to think it's a lot more complicated than that. So I've never augmented or supplemented it because I just thought that's one for real that I'll be doing the rest of my life. If I start that and that's the fix, I'll be doing that the rest of my life, relying on that. Why can't I first try and see, can I learn another way to train? Can I learn another way to recover, to protect? You know, and I did. You know, I had a slap tear a few years ago. I don't know if any of you guys really know what a slap tear is, but if you Google it, it's pretty fucking debilitating. And here I am. Still found another way, keep finding another way, very slippery like, to find another way to get to where I want to go. You know, initially, I had no interest in lifting weights if I couldn't lift heavy. I was all about heavy. All about heavy, really heavy. And I didn't have any enjoyment in it for me if I couldn't do that anymore. But I learned how to enjoy it still. You know, and I also discovered that if I were to stop and just atrophy too much, I'm going to have a whole bunch of other injuries that are just lying there dormant. And I'm not really aware of any kind of debility from any of them at the moment because I have too much muscle holding me together and relieving any of the negative impact that they would otherwise have had I less muscle holding me together. You know, and that's just a medical, physical reality. So there's a number of reasons why I want to keep some muscle on. Yeah, certainly I'm not as big as I was at my peak. Not as big as I was 2 years ago. But for my age, I'm still doing pretty good. And if I want to move something heavy, I still am able. It may not be the wisest thing for me to do, but if I had to do it, I can still do it. But I had to change a whole bunch of shit. Whole bunch of stuff, but it required me knowing my body a lot. And that's too much to even get into to explain, you know. Through various injuries I've gone through, you know, I found out that I could be re-injured easily for a couple of years at one point with one body part. For instance, I had a shoulder problem once, and I was going to re-injure it if I were going to sit there and rep out. For instance, if I would do like 12 or 15 rep sets with 315, a high likelihood that I'm going to fuck that shoulder up again. However, if I'm just going to hit 315 a couple times, and then I'm going to go up and hit 365 for like a single, 405 for like a single, 455 for like a single, I can get away with that. I can get away with that. 1 rep, 2 reps. No problem. But if I want to sustain that and try to see how many reps I can get, then I'm flirting with trouble, even if it's a lighter weight. Moderately heavy weight, more reps. Precarious. Heavyweight singles, doubles, not so much. So, and it goes right down the line. Everything related to anything I've experienced injury-wise, I've had to relearn things about my own body and discover things and find ways to train around that. Doesn't mean I still can't do that. It just means that it's wiser for me not to. But like I say, yoga, Power Jerry, I know he may take it for what it's worth, man. Yoga would set you free, bro. Yoga would set you free. There ain't no lie there. If I were in the spot you're in right now, I'd forget all this fucking training bullshit with weights and shit. I wouldn't even be worried about that. I'd be looking in a whole different realm. I'd go the yoga route, man, because I don't know anything else that in and of itself is going to yield half as much of a positive impact as that would. That's what I'd be looking to get into. You will be amazed. What do you got to lose? You'd be amazed. And of course, just like Alan mentioned, diet and nutrition. Diet and nutrition. I know everybody wants to pretend that they get everything and they dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but that don't always happen. And somewhere, somehow, some way, you might be missing something. And then the other thing is, how much of a role is it dependent on growth hormone levels? Like I once believed. Well, I think I might be wrong. I may be wrong, but last I heard, or I think, Jerry supplements GH, right? So, everybody's so quick to judge, and everybody thinks they have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but I'm a guy that's older than these fucking guys. And, their lifts don't impress me. Their fucking conditions don't impress me any. Their level of fitness doesn't impress me, where I look at it and say, wow, these guys are really motivating to me. Wish I were that fit, or wish I were that muscular, or wish I were that strong. But let's not bullshit everybody. Just because you can stand in one spot and lift some weight, or pull yourself up on a bar, that's a whole lot different than, you want to find out you're fit. That shit Eric Wojo does? You know who Eric Wojo is? The vegan Spider-Man. You want to find out how fit you are, you know what I mean? Go hang with Eric, and maybe he'll let you run through one of those Ninja Warrior courses that he does. I tell you one thing, Jason, you ain't getting through one of them courses, bro. That's fitness. I'm not saying that I am, but the difference is, in my opinion, humbly, I would submit that the difference is, I wouldn't just jump up there and try it, because I'd be pretty sure that I'm going to be courting an injury, a potential injury. If I wanted to do something like that, just like I'm trying to tell you now, I would set myself up for it, because it's an entirely different venture. I would get in shape for that. You understand? So let's not throw words like fitness around, because fitness is different to everybody, I guess, if you consider what you do fitness. Like I've said before, fitness is being fit for your life, to live your life, I guess. And if all your life is hanging in the house and doing a few different lifts in a spare bedroom, I guess you want to call that fitness, get the fuck ahead, but anyway. Of course I watched the video because Jason's entertaining. But Jerry, I'll give Jerry one thing. He doesn't keep anything quiet. I mean, he's right out in the open and up front with everything he does, right? Jerry, go try some fucking yoga, dude. I know you know, I don't know that you're going to be one to take anybody's advice, but fuck this lifting shit, man. You're just breaking yourself up. You're just beating the fuck out of yourself. Try some yoga. Reevaluate your nutrition. Somewhere something's coming up short, man. Connective tissues on the half. And there's a reason somewhere for that. Anyway, that's my input on all of it. What do I know? I'm just a guy that's older than all these guys. In my opinion, still look a hell of a lot better. And I damn well would bet that out here in the real world, up here in the woods, ain't none of them going to keep up with me too tough. Not saying there ain't nobody out there that could. There's some dudes out there that could. There's some dudes out there that bury me. But anyway, that's it. I think yoga's the way to go with that. That's what I try.